All right, hello everyone. So here we have geekychristian.com questions for atheists, agnostics, and non-Christians. These are questions that have been proposed by Dr. Norman Geisler in his book Conversational Evangelism. So let's go ahead and kind of go through these. Now, we won't be covering them all at once just because well, there's so many of them, but the questions, as you can see, they're actually quite long and they're very wordy, and there's a little bit of gish gallop going on here. So I want to be able to dissect each question point by point in order to address it and give a proper answer. So maybe we'll do 2, 3, depending on how long this takes. If you guys want to see more, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'll be happy to do more content like this. I do want to get some other video responses done and whatnot. But here we go. First one. Are you absolutely sure there is no God? For me personally, I really, really, really want to say yes, but I know that logically I cannot rule out the possibility of there being something like Spinoza's God, which is a God that just like craps out universes. I also am not able to discount the notion that pantheists have about a God, which is that the universe is God. We would not be here without the universe and its laws, and the universe created us in essence, and it's kind of a poetic approach to the universe being God. Now, that's not something I necessarily agree with. I call the universe, not God. But you can't say that it's a wrong approach either. From my understanding, a God is whatever people define a God to be. So there are billions of people on this planet. There are billions of proposed gods and God concepts. People even within the same home do not hold the same concept of God sometimes. So it's hard for me to say what a God is or isn't. I do enjoy Aaron Ra's approach where he says magical, anthropomorphic, immortal. But that, as I said, doesn't cover every aspect of God that has been proposed. So it's a good example, but it's not something that is quite inclusive. So am I absolutely sure that there is no God? No. If not, is it possible that there is a God? I guess it's possible. I don't, however, see it being probable. I accept the pantheistic notion of a God, so in that aspect, I guess you could say I was a theist, but I also reject the calling the universe God. So I'm still an atheist because I'm still rejecting that concept, even though I accept it as a true proposition. If it's possible that God exists, can you think of any reason that would keep you from wanting to look at the evidence? No, I'm totally open for the evidence. What evidence you got? I want real evidence. While testimonial evidence is hearsay and eyewitness accounts are weak forms of evidence, I'm open to evidence. But I want the hard, strong, good empirical data, if you could please. Question 2. Would you agree that intelligently designed things call for an intelligent designer of them? Well, yes, because you've already defined the intelligently designed item as being designed. So you would need a designer in order to create something that is designed. You're smuggling in a designer for something designed. You don't get to just call something designed. You have to actually demonstrate that something is designed. Not only that, but you would need to demonstrate that things that we design as human beings, such as AIs and computer code and stuff, you would have to prove that the way that acts is the way that something in nature would act. So, do I believe intelligently designed things require a designer? Yes, because you've defined it as such. Would you agree that evidence for an intelligently design in the universe would be evidence for a designer of the universe? No, I would not, because as I said, you would have to demonstrate the evidence for intelligent design, and intelligent design is disproven. It's bunk. Would you agree that nothing can produce something? Okay, so here we have an issue with 3. you're going to have to define the word nothing, because when physicists talk of nothing, they're not speaking of no thing. They're talking about low energy field of a pocket of space. So, I don't agree that nothing can produce something, but I also don't disagree with that. If you look at atoms and what atoms are actually made up of, they're called quarks, and quarks seem to pop in and out of existence from nothing. So, and physics really isn't my field, so I really hate to try to speak on this. This is kind of what just been explained to me by a couple of my physicist buddies. I'm more about biology and evolution. If you ask me those questions, I will fucking floor you with my knowledge. But physics kind of make my head want to explode. So I can't really say, I cannot agree that nothing produces something, but I cannot disagree that that is the case either. It would need to be demonstrated. And since I don't know how you would demonstrate nothing, because through demonstration of no thing, you have defined no thing and not made it a nothing. It has become a something. I don't have a nothing to examine in order to be able to properly answer that question. If the universe did not exist but then came to exist, would this be evidence of a cause beyond the universe? Not necessarily. Our universe could have been the collapsing of a previous universe, whatever form that may have taken. So it may not be beyond the universe at all. I just, that's a silly question. Number 4. Wow, we're kind of breezing through these a lot faster than I thought we would. We're only at like 7 minutes. Would you agree with me that just because we cannot see something with our eyes, such as our mind, gravity, magnesium, the wind, that does not mean it doesn't exist? Yes, but I would not use things such as the mind, gravity, magnesium, or the wind as examples, because those things can be demonstrated to exist, and we use our eyes to demonstrate it. We can see our mouths moving. We can hear sounds coming out of our mouths. We're able to understand, so the mind can be demonstrated using our eyes. Gravity, you just pick something up and drop it. Gravity can be demonstrated. Magnetism. I can't believe I said magnesium. Magnetism. You put two magnets together, they're either going to attract or repel, right? Magnetism can be demonstrated and we can see it with our eyes. Wind, you throw some dust in the air and it's going to blow with the wind, or leaves or whatever else, right? We can see the wind with our eyes. Better examples would have been atoms. Better examples would have been parasites. But we can see those things with specialized equipment with our eyes. So, it's hard to really quantify that, because we see with our eyes. So, yeah, I would just say, just because you can't see something or demonstrate it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Atoms existed in the 1600s, even though no one had any idea what the fuck an atom was. All right? 5. Would you also agree that just because we cannot see God with our eyes does not necessarily mean that he doesn't exist? Sure, but how do you know God has a gender and that it prefers the he, him pronoun? Did somebody tell you that? Did you read that in a book? Just curious. All right, so I think 5 is good. I think there's like 12 of these. No, there's 15. So I think we could do 3 videos on this if we wanted to. I hope you guys have found that entertaining. Let me know if you wish me to continue. That's it for tonight. Bye-bye.